Midwest, brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. By Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. Beautiful night for baseball. The city by the bay. San Francisco, we're at Oracle Park on this Friday night. Game number 2 of the 4-game set. 60 degrees, a little bit warmer here today. And the wind is not much of a factor yet. With Jim Edmonds, Jim Hayes, I'm Dan McLaughlin. Great to have you with us as we get you set for St. Louis Cardinals baseball. Cardinals a 7-1 winner last night. And Tommy Edman, a big reason why. He went 3 for 5. Followed by Paul Goldschmidt and Nolan Arenado. Tyler O'Neill, Juan Yepez, Corey Dickerson, Andrew Kisner, Harrison Bader, and Paul DeYoung. The right-hander, 6'1", 210-pounder, Alex Cobb, spent last season with the Angels, a number of years in the American League with Tampa Bay and Baltimore. He came up with the Rays in 2011.
Yeah, you look at the Hyundai pitch arsenal. It's kind of interesting. Sinker, splitter, and a knuckle curve. But look at how many off-speed changeup, split-fingered fastball he throws. Almost half.
And the first pitch is popped back foul, and we're underway.
Danny, I was digging through a little bit of this stuff, and he faced Juan Soto, and he threw him 4 split-fingered fastballs in a row. So he will not be afraid to throw that a lot.
Lefties hitting .346 against Alex Cobb. It was a bullpen start last night. So the Cardinals, in the last 18 innings, Kansas City game 1 last night here, 17 runs, 20 hits against 15 different pitchers.
15. And the 0-2. Missed on the inside corner.
Oh, just barely, too. You know, you might want to let the umpire know if you're the catcher, hey, heads up, this is because if you just go right to that pitch and if he doesn't know you have it, you catch the umpire off guard a little bit. I think he just did.
It's Doug Eddings, the home plate umpire, the 1-2 pitch. Tommy stays alive.
See the catcher go down to block that.
You know, the one thing about having a bullpen start in a 4-game series and you do it in game 1, you're getting a look at the back end of the bullpen as well. 2 guys that close games out in Jake McGee. You had obviously Tyler Rogers, another one that has closed games out, and yet the Cardinals get a look at them in game 1.
Yeah, like you said, 4-game series. It's like in the playoffs. You know, you finally start to see guys over and over at the end of the playoffs. You start to get a little bit of a better feeling as a hitter. Well, you just like you said, kind of got that out of the way game 1 right now, and then I believe they're coming to us soon. So you're going to be fresh. It's all going to be right there that you just got a chance to face everyone.
We'll see the Giants next weekend at Busch Stadium. Around the Horn is presented by Dobbs. And it's Luis Gonzalez in left, Mike Yastrzemski in center. Lamont Wade Jr. is back in the lineup after dealing with a knee issue. He's in right. Vossler, Crawford, Estrada, Flores on the infield. Joey Bart, young catcher behind the plate.
So much for the card, huh? He's got a whole sheet of paper out there. Let me see. What are we going to do with this guy?
Here's Goldie. And that tails back in for a strike. 14 games against the Giants since he joined the Cardinals in 19. He's popped 4 home runs. He's driven in 18.
An interesting delivery, huh, by Cobb. Is really slow and then kind of jumps at you last second. 95 coming out of that arm with that slow arm or that body. Ball can really hop on you. Looks like another knuckle curveball right here.
1 ball and 2 strikes.
It's interesting watching him from behind. It looks like he knows exactly what he wants to throw and he sets it.
Hit the other way and foul.
Not doing a whole lot of movement, shaking off.
Well, the ball dude made the play down the right field line.
The ball dude.
One of the youngsters here tonight
I
at the
miss
ballpark.
the old fellows. It does actually kind of look funny down there. If you look down the right field line where it says, for us, I'm talking to you, but
got you, Jimmy.
Without the mound out there, it just looks like a totally different place. It's just flat.
They put some seating in. Little area that they've added to this ballpark near the bullpens and where they used to be. That is softly hit back to Cobb, and that'll be out number 2. You know, yesterday too, the Giants did not say that they were going with a bullpen start until afternoon. So gamesmanship a little bit too, is normally those starters are reported early and you know who you're going to face in a series, but not told until late. And then 9 different hitters. Here's Arenado, and those 9 different hitters saw 9 different pitchers. So Nolan 2 for 4 against this right-hander. 2 outs and nobody on. Nolan is at the tops of the National League in runs batted in. He's got 23 this year.
Smashing balls in batting practice today too.
And the 0-1 pitch. 0-2.
This is basically the pitch. The split-fingered fastball was the pitch that made me realize at some point I had to figure out who threw it and how they were holding their glove, because it's kind of was the X factor back in the day, because the same arm angle, same arm action.
Cobb off the mound, steps, throws, and makes the play. 1, 2, 3 go the Redbirds. The flamethrower Jordan Hicks gets the call tonight. Half inning in the books, and there's no score. Jordan Hicks had a season high 63 pitches against the Diamondbacks, and the Cardinals slowly trying to build him up more and more and more.
Yeah, you see the Hyundai pitch arsenal, and sinker slider. As a starter, he's going to need another pitch, so it would be nice to see a little bit more changeups, and I would love to see him throw some changeup to righties. We know he's got the 100-mile-an-hour fastball. He's got an electric slider, but as a hitter, we all know about the velocity. Anyone can turn around a fastball. His thing is he's got really good movement, but those 2 pitches, he's going to have to be around the location he needs in order to keep these guys off balance.
Here's Lamont Wade Jr. He's at the top of the lineup. Then Yastrzemski and Flores here in the first. Jock Peterson batting cleanup. Crawford, Estrada, Gonzalez, Vossler, and Joey Bart. Wade had a breakout campaign with the Giants last year in every offensive category. 808 was his OPS. 17 doubles, 18 home runs. He was activated off the IL prior to tonight's game. He missed the team's first 25 games. He dealt with just an inflammatory issue in his left knee, and it popped up in spring training and kept him out now for the first 25 games. That's 7 rehab games. Their AAA affiliate in Sacramento, just trying to get him up to speed. 2 balls and 1 strike. Good fastball, 2-2.
Welcome back to the big leagues with some, not only the 95 or 98 mile an hour fastball, the 98 mile an hour fastball with run, and oh yeah, by the way, he's pitching me in. Speed up those hands in a hurry.
The 2-2. And to think that Hicks has dialed it down a little bit since being moved in the rotation. First 3 starts, just 18 of 151 pitches were clocked at 100 or better. In his career coming out of the pen, it was right around 48%.
I like the fact that they're just going right at it. You know, the thing for me is so much movement, and I love that Kistner's on the inside trying to work. You know, ball starts on the inside, it's going to run back, maybe trying to pitch him in, but just let that ball do the work. You can see he turned it up a notch as soon as he got 2 strikes. You have to get that strikeout every time.
And the 3-2 fouled back. Jordan gave up a couple of home run solo shots against the Diamondbacks on Sunday at Busch Stadium. Just kind of shocking when you see that against
Jordan Hicks.
Yeah.
A lot of ground balls when he does have contact against him, and you're going to get a lot of strikeouts too.
So one of them inside out too, wasn't it? To right field. Right field.
3-2 pitch and a grounder. Get to the right side, and Tommy Edman makes the play.
Ouch.
Cardinals defensively, O'Neill is in left, Bader in center, Dickerson in right. Around the horn, presented by Dobbs. Nolan Arenado, Paul DeYoung, Tommy Edman, Paul Goldschmidt on the infield. Andrew Kisner was a late insertion into the starting lineup. Yachty was initially in the starting lineup, and then a late scratch, and it's Andrew Kisner, and now Mike Yastrzemski. Just got back into action on Wednesday against the Dodgers. He had missed 7 games, tested positive for COVID. Hit a career best 25 home runs and drove in 71 last season. And the Cardinals with a shift on the right side. And it's 0-2. Arenado now with 2 strikes, backing up the Cardinal third baseman.
Be careful with this shift. You see still a little bit to pull, and I love being way back, but with that fastball, he could just jam guys all day, and they're late. You know, you're going to see some balls hit to Arenado and even down the line a little bit. I got to think that you want to be a little bit careful on the left side of the infield.
It was a 93-mile-an-hour changeup from Jordan Hicks.
His mechanics are a little all over the place right now. You can see, like, we talk about trying to make the ball move, and then what happens? You open up and the ball just goes flat and just takes off on you. Just stay close and throw it. Let it do its own thing. There it is right there.
The strikeout of Yastrzemski, first of the night for Hicks. Cardinals have really played well at this ballpark, which can be very tough on the opposition. The Cardinals, going back to 2013, are 17-11 after the win last night, head-to-head. And the Cardinals have won all the season series since 2014 against the Giants. Wilmer Flores hitting .279 and a strike. Jim Edmonds, Toyota key to the game.
Well, for me, it's going to be about Hicks today and just stretch him out. See how long he can stay in the game. Kind of efficiency, but also I want to see how many innings he can eat up, stay out of that bullpen.
Flores was 2 for 4 last night. On deck, Jock Peterson. 6 left-handed bats in the lineup for Gabe Kapler. And the 1-1 pitch by Hicks. Fly ball, shallow right center. And that'll be Bader. He'll make the catch. 1-2-3 go the Giants. Coming up for St. Louis, O'Neill, Yepez, Dickerson. No score.
And it's paid off. Last couple of games, we've seen a triple. Home run hit down the left field line late. That made it 10-0 against Kansas City. And he's 4 for 9 with a home run and has driven in 5. And of those 4 hits, 3 have gone for extra bases. As O'Neill hits a high fly ball into right on the first pitch. Lamont Wade Jr. is there, 1 away. Well, it's going to be a little bit of a relief for Cobb because his last start could not get out of the first inning. That was against Washington. They lost 11-5. His first start back since April 19th. He was dealing with an abductor strain. He had 5 runs, 4 of those unearned, but he did walk 3 in just 2/3 of an inning. There's Juan Yepez. Multi-hit games in 2 of his first 3 in the big leagues. That's what he's hoping to do here. He had the 2 hits against Kansas City, a couple of hits last night. And the 1-0. Shades of Bo Hart. Bo had 28 hits in his first 15 games.
Can't be done again.
in 2003, which tied a record that was 102 years old.
Can't be done again. There will never be another Bo Hart. Nobody will ever put on a show like that in that short amount of time and charge up a team like he did. My favorite month in my career.
Miguel Cairo fractured his hand. The Cardinals called him up. And the first game that he didn't record a hit for Bo Hart was his 8th game in the big leagues. So he was at fantasy camp, and I said, well, what did you think? How did this happen? He said, well, I'm 5'8", 180 pounds when I'm playing. He said, pitchers looked at me. They figured I can
go right at him.
Yeah, I'm going to get a fastball right by him. And then all of a sudden, started seeing the breaking ball, and things changed a little bit. As Juan has a big swing and a miss.
I think he, like, if I remember, really no batting gloves, just gritty. I mean, I had so much fun watching him, didn't you?
Oh, I loved it.
He's a great guy.
Took the city by storm. He was a 33rd round pick out of Gonzaga. And his last game was just 10 months after he made his major league debut. So basically 10 months in the big leagues, if you include the offseason as well. And he was sent down and then never heard from again at the major league level. Did bounce around a little bit. Living in Memphis right now, Bo Hart. The 3-2 pitch. And a strikeout of Yepes. The first of the night for Alex Cobb. So 2 outs. 5 up, 5 down. Stream out of market regular season games live or on demand, plus MLB big inning and select pregame and postgame coverage. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
I was going to say before you gave MLB TV their big old spot, married to his wife Lydia for a few years, and she came and sang the national anthem. I think it was this year or last year.
Last year.
Blew me away. I knew she had a good voice, but wow.
They have 2 young boys too.
Yes, they do. She's amazing, an amazing mom, and what an amazing guy, and kids, and it was great to see them.
There's the 0-1 pitch to Corey Dickerson, and it's 0-2. Andrew Kisner on deck. It's crazy what he did, though. I mean, it really did take the city and baseball by storm. We were in Kansas City. Dan Patrick was as popular as you could possibly get on radio, and obviously he is now too, but it was exploding, and they wanted Bo Hart on the radio. I was in Tony's office. Tony said, well, I know we have a meeting. I couldn't believe he did it. He said, let him go, because I don't know how much longer this is going to last.
At least he's honest.
And he did the national interview. 3 strikeouts to start, and there's no score.
Good evening to Jim Hayes. What do you got, Jimbo?
Danny, the Cards were hoping they had left their COVID issues behind in Kansas City. Apparently, that's not the case. Adam Wainwright has tested positive for COVID. He's put on the IL. John Mozeliak says Adam was identified as someone who had contact with a positive case in Kansas City and should be tested. Waino was, and he came back positive. Waino was asymptomatic, and he says he feels 100%. Mozeliak says he remains hopeful Waino can still make his next start on Tuesday. But Danny, Waino's feeling good. I think that's the most important thing.
Texting with him today. I know, Jimmy, you did as well. He's in isolation at the team hotel.
Isolation, I love it.
Well, that's what it is. Yep. And he's frustrated. You know, he feels fine. But because he was in close contact with somebody that has tested positive, it's part of the protocol.
Does not have one symptom. I told him I'd be on the next plane out of here.
So the Cardinals are hopeful that he will make that next start, as Jim said. So Peterson grounds out back to Hicks, and now Brandon Crawford, who is 5 for his last 29.
Might even drive. I've been sitting in the hotel room for 3 days.
And that's how he's being attacked right now. A lot of fastballs coming at Brandon Crawford. And the first pitch was a ball, and even Hicks saying, now where is that pitch?
It's right there at the top of the zone, completely inside the box.
And the 1-0 pitch to Crawford outside, 2 balls and no strikes.
That's another changeup right there. 92. See what he did though? Did you notice it fall off and the arm angle changed?
I noticed that with his off speed, he'll fall off.
You don't need to make it work, and you can just make that changeup look like the fastball. Guys have no chance. Just a little jumpy tonight.
The minor leagues, he had 34 starts, so this is not foreign to him. Was 14-5 as a starter in the minor leagues, and it's 3-1. Made the opening day roster in 2018. He was just 21 years of age, and that's taken high and outside.
I think you might have to just aim everything down and on the left-hand side batter's box and just let it run over the plate.
I was talking to Miles Michaelis in the clubhouse about that particular pitch, Jimmy, that has become so effective for him against the lefties. They give up on it, and he said, I'm definitely throwing it more. And I said, I just want to make sure I'm right about this, that you are going to that more. It seems like it's become a wipeout pitch for you that the left-handed batters are really giving up on. He said, I finally am able to, he said, sometimes maybe I'll spread my fingers a little bit with the two-seamer, but I'm finally able to get and extend out in front, and that allows him to get the movement.
It's funny if you think about it too. It's like the guys that get the movement throw downhill and get extension, and the guys that try to make the movement will drop their arm and the ball will flatten out.
Exactly.
It's almost opposite.
So it's the old adage, trust your stuff.
Yeah, get on top, throw downhill, and if you have the kind of movement that's in near that arm, then it's going to do more damage up there than it is when you drop down, and some guys just can't do it.
And the 0-2 pitch to Tyro Estrada, who's driven in 14, goes the other way, and a base hit. Crawford will stop at second as Dickerson gets it back in quickly, and runners at first and second with 1 down.
I like Dickerson, how shallow he was right there. He came after that ball because that could have been a first to third easily. This is just what I was talking about. This is just a hard fastball that he's late. Hits it over there. Nobody's over there. I feel like I would be playing, and I know you can with the double play in order. Take a look at Dickerson coming up firing. The double play has a chance. He keeps the infielders up the middle, but have to cheat a little bit to the opposite field with him throwing tonight. It's just my feeling.
And now Gonzalez shift on the right side. Arenado even with the bag off the line at third. Cardinals were able to turn a double play early last night. The Giants scoring runs, that's an issue, but also what they're doing with runners in scoring position. So they're not hitting home runs. They were 1 for 6 last night with runners in scoring position, and they left 10 men on. And the 0-1 foul on the third base line and a broken bat. This is Gabe Kapler. He is the reigning National League Manager of the Year.
Sick beard working right there, doesn't he? Sick.
Well, how would you define sick? I mean,
awesome.
Does that mean you like it?
Yes,
okay.
it's awesome.
Right.
Gabe and I go way back. Been the same agent since we were youngsters.
Managed in Philly, took his lumps there. That's a tough spot to be.
Took his lumps
in your first spot.
Yeah.
Fans will let you know how they feel. Good, bad, and different. Passionate. And the 0-2 pitch by Hicks. And a ground ball. Edman to his left. No play for DeYoung. To try to turn 2. Puts it in his back pocket. Runners at the corners with 2 away. 2022, the 40th anniversary of the Cardinals' 1982 World Championship team. And on May 13th, that's a Friday night, 25,000 fans, 16 and older, take home a white 1982 inspired performance hat, courtesy of Quick Trip. And for tickets, visit cardinals.com/promotions.
That pitch was 101.7, and off the bat it was 101.4. How many times you see a guy throw the ball harder to home than you hit it off the bat? Not often, unless it's a jam shot.
Vossler is 5 for his last 14. Slowly hit. Hicks has it. Underhands to Goldie. And the Giants will strand a pair. Kisner, Bader, DeYoung coming up. Check out the T-Mobile coverage cam. Retired number of the great Willie Mays celebrating his 91st birthday today. He is the oldest living member of the Hall of Fame from Westfield, Alabama.
Oh, look at that slide.
When he was a kid, he watched his father play in Industrial League games. That's how he learned to play the game. And by the time he began to play professionally, he was only in high school. He was playing pro ball, though, in the Negro Leagues. The Chattanooga Choo-Choos and then the Birmingham Black Barons.
As he was in high school?
He was in high school.
Wow.
He debuted in May of 1951. And he started his career
0 for 12. This is Kisner. His first major league hit was a home run off of Warren Spahn. And in 1952, he's drafted by the Army. He missed most of that season, all of 1953. So look at those numbers there and consider that he missed nearly 270 games because of his service. And the 0-1 pitch upstairs. So he comes back after being in the Army. And they even said he played mostly baseball when he was in the Army, but had to serve his time in our armed forces. And he comes back and he wins the MVP in the first year back after essentially 2 years off. It was 1954. That was also the year that the Giants faced the Indians. And it's the famous catch in game 1 of that World Series with his back to the infield on a drive by Vic Wertz. Hall of Famer, happy birthday, Willie Mays.
200 and how many games missed?
270.
So you figure that's almost probably 40 home runs for him. That puts him at 700.
Pretty close. Kisner taps it foul. 7, 8, 9 for the Cardinals. On deck, Bader and then DeYoung.
I know there's a lot of debate on who the best player ever was, but I hear his name come up a lot.
When he was inducted into Cooperstown, he said sheepishly when he was asked who's the best player, kind of paused. He said, well, I'd have to say me.
Off the end of the bat, Alex Cobb makes the play for the first out. Looks pretty sharp here early on.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing a really nice job, and what he's doing is he's throwing his fastball in and his changeup away to lefties, and then he'll throw that fastball in and his changeup in to righties, and that's, if you're throwing 95 with a little sidearm action, with a little sideways action with the sinker, it's kind of running more or less than it is sinking, and then throwing that split out of the same arm action, and you have to pick one or the other, and that split finger fastball looks just like the regular fastball, and you see what happens. You hit balls off the end of the bat like that, or you just swing right through them.
And Bader chops it left side. Loved by Vossler. He had a couple of fine defensive plays last night. There's 2 outs. While we have a moment, quick word from Jack in the Box.
Pop my $5.99 classic and spicy 50-50 popcorn chicken combo. Order on the Jack app today.
Brings in Paul DeYoung, hitting 119, hitless again last night. 1 home run. That was at Busch Stadium earlier this year against the Pirates into their Cardinal bullpen. And he yanks that foul. Wow.
You know what's scary about that whole thing? And Danny, that home run that he hit, in Busch Stadium. And I even told him that is probably the best swing you have ever taken in the big leagues. And as a joke, but for him to hit that ball that hard the other way, and if you looked at the replay, everything was perfect, and then he hasn't really gotten it back. It's almost like, how do I do that every time? And then it kind of got into his head. He tried to stay inside, and now it's coming off, and vice versa. So what a tough way to go the opposite way after like one of the best swings you could possibly take.
And the 0-2. Old foul again by DeYoung. He's been doing that a lot too, where he's out in front and yanks that foul.
Well, he's diving a little bit, and he has to yank it foul. It's because that stride is getting so long with the foot up in the air that he's drifting. The best thing I can say is at least he is covering the plate like that. He's not going the opposite way, but I'd like to see him not drift so much. And then see that side swing, and if you see a guy pick up their foot, and then as he starts to go forward, you think 1, 2 foot down. He's like 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the foot goes down, and it's almost like dragging his hands along with it at times.
And the 1-2 pitch. Old foul again by DeYoung. Well, for his last 13, twice he flied to right last night, grounded out to first, and struck out. Well, you pull so hard for a guy like DeYoung, one of the nicer fellas that you'll meet in this game, and he's putting in the work. It just hasn't come to fruition.
It's not like he's not working on it. I know he's hitting a lot of extra, a lot of different things, a lot of people talking to him.
And the 1-2 swung on and missed, and a strikeout for Alex Cobb. 9 up, 9 down. He has struck out 4. Happy birthday, say hey kid, Willie Mays, 91 years young. Your favorite athletes, top insiders in sports bring you an all-new experience. Watch the Rally every weekday on Bally Sports Midwest. Here's Joey Bart. And there's a strike. He has struck out 23 times in his past 48 plate appearances. And so he's at catcher tonight. Casale last night. Buster Posey will be honored before the game tomorrow. Mid-afternoon here in San Francisco. The fastball misses in at 98. Here's the 1-1 pitch.
Danny, I believe that is just the 3rd slider he's thrown all night. That's unusual.
It's a wipeout slider.
Oh, it is so good.
And the 1-2 pitch to Bart. And he struck him out.
That's what happens when you throw it. Only 3 out of 33 or 34 pitches is kind of shocking to me.
Home Depot getting more done. The highest overall pitch velocity in the big leagues this season. Alcantara and then Hicks, Garrett Cole of the Yankees, Zach Wheeler, and Carlos Rodon right here in San Francisco. Lamont Wade Jr. grounded out first time up. It's fouled back. It's starting to get a little bit foggy here in the Bay as the sun is setting here on the West Coast. We had a beautiful day here in San Francisco, and the wind is also picked up going towards right field. I was talking to Harrison Bader before the game. There's an idea of what we're talking about, but I said, is this the toughest ballpark defensively for you? And he said, well, let me think about that. He said, maybe Yellowstone, Central Park in New York. I said, so this is without question the toughest? He said, oh yeah. He said, the key is, though, you have to play defense against the hitter. Understand the dimensions, but you can't give in in terms of what you're doing defensively, because how the ballpark plays. You're trying to play defense with what you know about the hitter and your pitcher. There's a strikeout, and that's number 3 tonight, 2 in a row.
Just found a slider, huh?
You agree with that assessment?
Yes,
from
I do.
Harrison?
Yes, I do, and I think that if, especially you don't come out here very often, it can mess with you a little bit. It's like I said, you know, even at home when you're playing a little bit more shallow in center field at home, and you look back and the gaps, the way the stadium is built with the bullpen having to be so straight, it makes the gaps look bigger. And so when you look back, you're thinking, wow, how am I going to get to that point? And it's almost like a little bit of an illusion, and so it messes with you a little bit. And here, look at the Visa area in right center field and the 415. And this is what I was saying yesterday, where you really have to have your right fielder cheat over and just give them the right field line. But the good thing about the right field line is any ball that's hit over there is going to bounce back to you. You're basically not a normal ballpark when it comes to that. And hopefully you get a nice carom off the bricks or something to bounce back to you. But it's very, very interesting ballpark.
Harrison said the fans will let you know too. He said this place gets loud. He said, I love it though, it's fun. He said that means you're doing something if they're on you.
We were getting a little rowdy last night about the 7th, 8th inning. You could hear it all the way up here. I felt like I was having flashbacks of them yelling at me.
Going to the count on Yastrzemski. Big gap in right center. He struck out his first time up. The grandson of Hall of Famer Carl Yastrzemski. Mike was drafted 3 different times. 36th round in 09 by the Red Sox, went to Vanderbilt instead, then drafted by the Mariners in 2012. They offered well above the recommended rate, but he waited. Then drafted by the Orioles and has found a home here in San Francisco. And he strikes out for the second time as Jordan Hicks strikes out the side here in the 3rd inning. Coming up, the top of the lineup for St. Louis.
Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals. And by Real Steel. Find yours at steeldealers.com. 9 up and 9 down for Alex Cobb against this St. Louis lineup. And a swing and a miss by the Stanford product, Tommy Edman. Struck out his first time up. Goldschmidt on deck, and then Nolan Arenado. First time through the lineup, 4 ground ball outs and 4 strikeouts for Cobb. And another ground ball. Cobb to the bag and the out. And when he's right, you're going to see a lot of that. After his first 3 starts, his ground ball percentage 71%, and that's actually 20% higher than his career average. So he's getting a ton of ground balls and soft contact so far tonight.
Here's Goldschmidt. This ballpark opened in 2000. Goldie and Arenado 1 and 2 in terms of home runs by a visiting player. Goldschmidt with 13 of them. Arenado with 12, and he's on deck. Trying to make it 14 consecutive games reaching base safely. The 1-0. A ball and a strike. It's a guy that does not give up many home runs. Goldie would love to change that. Going back to the beginning of last season, he's allowed just 5. Well over 100 innings pitched.
Well, you can see why. I mean, fastball moves all over the place, and that split is usually down.
Here's a 2-1 pitch.
That's a good take right there. Yeah, Goldie does a nice job. We were talking about Paul Molitor. He's the one of those guys that will get behind or get even in a count, and he'll look for your best pitch He knows he can foul off fastballs. He just doesn't want to swing at anything down and out of the zone.
3-2 the count. Giants as a whole, their staff very good preventing the long ball this year. 0.57 home runs allowed per 9. That is tops that rate in the big leagues. Bullpen has been really good in that department. 3-2 pitch. And that's ball 4. So the Cardinals have their first base runner. 2 borderline pitches that did not go Cobb's way. Orioles coming to St. Louis May 10th through the 12th. Cardinals are partnering with St. Louis Men's Clinic to bring fans a great ticket deal. Limited time. Purchase a Loge and Pavilion ticket for just $5. Field box $15. Cardinals.com/5. Many of the Brownies will be in attendance for that series as the St. Louis Browns moved to Baltimore and then became the Orioles fan club.
Big one still in St. Louis and across the country, and that's a strike. Bill DeWitt Jr., the owner of the club,
served as a bat boy as his father was running the St. Louis Browns.
It's crazy. All in the family.
It's amazing. I emceed one of their luncheons, I guess a couple years ago now, and Mr. DeWitt was there and interviewed him about his experiences and the picture that he has with Babe Ruth as a young boy. The night that, should say day, Eddie Goodell was a part of a game as he was added to the active roster between doubleheaders, and they needed a uniform. He is a little person, and so they needed a little uniform, and that was the Bat Boys, which was Mr. DeWitt's, which is hanging in the Cardinals Hall of Fame and Museum. Another fact of that was that when he reached base, Eddie Goodell, on 4 straight pitches, Jim Delsing, Jay Delsing, the PGA golfer based in St. Louis, that's his father, came in to pinch run for Eddie Goodell.
I did actually not know that.
And in game 1, Jim Delsing had a really good day, and the manager came to him and said, "You're not going to play in game 2, but just be ready." And he said, I just had a good game. He's a really good defender. Had a couple of hits, I believe, and you can't figure out why. And
later he found out, as everybody did, as Eddie Goodell came out to
little gimmick,
pinch hit. Here's a 1-1. Hit sharply and fair off the glove of Bossler. Goldie to third base. Arenado in, standing up with a double. Runners at second and third, and just 1 out for St. Louis. Their first hit tonight. By the way, another aspect of that story, apparently the ownership group, according to Jay, who got it from his father, as this is off the glove of Bossler and a double for Arenado, told Eddie Goodell, if you swing, we have a sniper on top of the stadium.
Sounds like something La Russa would say.
Oh, man.
That's awesome.
Baseball's the best.
Can you imagine if you swing, I will kill you.
Here's a 1. Late swing by O'Neill, and it's 0-2 with 1 out. And runners at second and third. And it's a strikeout of O'Neill. Carved him up in that at bat. That's already 5 strikeouts for Alex Cobb. Obviously, the Giants feel that this is going to be a tight game by, in the 4th inning, bringing the infield in with a guy like O'Neill.
You can see right there, his flying open right there, looking for that heater.
So here's Juan Yepes, struck out. 0 for 1 tonight. Saw him go after that splitter, did Tyler O'Neill. He's using that, Alex Cobb, a lot more than he ever has in his career. He's also throwing it about 2 miles per hour harder than at any point in time in his career. Cobb looks over at Goldie, and the 0-1 pitch. Now 0-2.
See what I'm saying, though? He's challenging the right-hander's hand, and the ball has so much movement that it's chasing them. Makes it tough to hit. Then he'll throw that split-fingered fastball in there, and it just dies, and then you're swinging over the top of it. So you have to force yourself somehow to look a little bit out over the plate. And my thing is, if the ball gets underneath your arms, you have to take it because it's going to finish inside.
He struck him out. Back-to-back Ks, already 6 through 4 innings. Cardinals strand a pair, and there's no score. In our community, purchase a 50-50 raffle ticket during each Friday, Saturday, and Sunday home game, and one lucky winner will win 50% of the pot each game. You must be 18 in the state of Missouri at the time of purchase. Visit cardinals.com/5050 for tickets. Hicks struck out the side in the home half of the third, and it's Wilmer Flores at the plate.
Did you get any hints on how many pitches he might throw tonight, Mr. Hicks? I know you were doing some
70 to 80 in that range. Also, the eye test will be a part of that too.
Eye chart.
At some point, though, you have to start stretching him out a bit. And it is a count of 0-2.
Well, I think it's got to be a little sketchy. You know, you think about stretching him out. Hopefully, he stays nice and easy, but you always got to remember that he is very, very close to being off of those surgeries. And I have to imagine that kind of worries management, you know, all the time. I don't know how you don't think about it.
So his longest outing, 3 1/3, as we mentioned earlier, is he's trying to get stretched out. And it's not just the conversion reliever to starter, but it's where have the innings been, you know, to build up even to this season. Remember, he is a type 1 diabetic, so did not play at all in 2020, opted out of that season and the COVID rules there, and missed time in 19 and in 21, and that was injury. So not many innings here for Jordan Hicks. 0-2 pitch, and it's taken downstairs by Flores. And the 1-2 pitch to the Giant first baseman, and he strikes out. And that is 4 in a row and 5 in the game for Jordan Hicks.
That ball got there in a hurry, didn't it? I think he just got a little sidearm, short arm, 97. It's like darts right there. Ooh.
Look at the movement too.
You know, the key to that is just watch how Kisner catches this ball. It sticks it.
Notice how quiet Andrew has got behind the plate.
So good. He's done so much work.
There's Jock Peterson. Grounded back to Hicks. Career high 5 strikeouts for Jordan Hicks in this game, and that pitch taken high. Hit it softly back to Hicks his first time up. Peterson won a world championship last year with Atlanta. Began the season with the Cubs, many years with the Dodgers. And the 1-0 pitch by Hicks, 2-0. Cardinals with the shift on the right side of the infield. Outfield is deep. And the 2-0 pitch. Peterson sends it out to center. Going back. Bader with room to make the catch.
The old cold green layer.
It's here now.
And a little bit of a jam shot. I think he got extended on that, but that ball took off. Just gets up in the air and dies. See where he gets this ball on the bat. He gets it pretty good. I think he just misses it. It didn't sound good, and that's the reason why I thought it wasn't going to keep going, but it was close.
How many times this year the ball sounds great off the bat, goes nowhere, and then you have that had a little bit of a thump to it, and it carries all the way to the center field wall.
I think it's interesting when you just sit up here and listen to batting practice and listen to everyone's bat sound so different. And then you see Yachty just kind of flick his hands out there and then launch a ball into the seats with ease.
Did that last night, tying Ted Simmons, 9th all-time now in Cardinals history in home runs. To think about where Yadier Molina was when he came up, PNC Park in Pittsburgh, June of that season of 2004, and here we are in 2022, and he is in the top 10 of many offensive categories. It was always defense first, and still is. Popped up off the bat of Crawford, center, and it's going to drop. Crawford wasn't running, and the throw into second. He's in there safely.
Harry lost it.
It looked like Bader just couldn't find it.
Which is crazy, as Paulie had it the whole way, and I think he didn't hear anything. So watch if we see this, how far Paul DeJong gets out there. And first of all, Harrison is so deep, and that is too much for him. But look at DeJong. He's got a beat on it, and he doesn't hear anything, so he keeps coming, and then he feels Harrison, and then he has to stop.
Crawford lucky to be at second base. He was not running. Should have been there at least standing up. He didn't start running until he got to the bag at first and realized it had dropped. Now granted, I understand that's 99 out of 100 that is caught, if not more, but still.
That was just interesting.
Got to be at second.
Isn't it kind of crazy? You think about like what we were talking about last night, how you get different reads on certain balls from second and first, and then Harrison's coming in on the ball, cannot find it at all, and DeJong's going back on the ball and sees it perfect. And if not for them almost colliding, I bet you DeJong can catch that ball. I thought they're going to run into each other because clearly Harrison's not calling it, and the ball did a great job. I mean, he can go until they call you off. The one thing you have to do, I think, as an outfielder, especially when you realize it's in, and it's hard to do, is start yelling for help instantly. I can't see it, because if he does that, Paulie runs out there and catches that ball. It's the same thing with the Sun. You let each other know, hey, this is going to be tough in the gap, going to be tough over here down the line. And then when that ball goes up there, you're like screaming, help, help, help right away. And then the outfielder will run over there and help you out. If you don't say anything, nobody knows. So that's something I don't think we've ever seen with Harrison, because he doesn't make mistakes. But that ball can get lost up there in that. It's not twilight anymore, but it's kind of dark up there because of the little bit of fog.
Yeah, clearly the center fielder's ball, but if you can't see it, you can't see it.
But that's when you almost have to try and yell, help, I can't see it. And not very many shortstops can get that far out there in center field like Paul just did. But I bet you, if you asked him after the game, he probably could have caught that ball.
Here's a 1-1 to Estrada. With Crawford, your runner at second base, and 2 outs. Soft liner, couple of hops. Edman will make the play. It's not as easy as it looked. Had a lot of English on it, but stayed with it, made the play, and we are scoreless as we head to the 5th. And there is no score. Well pitched on both sides. Alex Cobb has struck out 6, allowed 1 hit. That was the double by Arenado down the third base line. Also has a walk. Jordan Hicks has struck out 5 and allowed 2 hits. Giants have stranded 3. The Cardinals have left 2 on.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say you'd be hard pressed to find 2 guys going against each other with the velocity and the movement that these 2 have going on tonight. Not fun for the hitter. Clearly you can tell with the 3 hits.
There's Corey Dickerson, struck out swinging first time up. Giants moved to San Francisco in 1958. Walter O'Malley was moving the Dodgers, and they needed somebody with him. And the Giants came west. There's a base hit for Dickerson into center field, and the Cardinals have their second base hit.
It's a split-fingered fastball, I think. Look at that thing just dive. It's a nice job by Corey right there, going down to get that ball a little bit. You've got to use those legs.
And now it's Kisner. I like Kisner as a hit-and-run candidate.
I like him
once in a while. You see him go to right.
Things this year. He's changed so much. Well, you just like to see him put the ball in play. This guy's a tough customer, though, on the mound.
Kisner, first time up, rounded back to Alex Cobb. The risk that you run if you do hit and run is the swing and the miss, and Cobb is getting a lot of those tonight.
Well, maybe you pick a, hopefully the time is up there, elevated a little bit, and you pick a split.
Something the Giants have been trying to do more than they've done in the last 5 or 10 years. You're seeing them bunt, hit and run, win right, try to steal bases, generate offense. And it's 0-2. Bart, by the way, behind the plate, 1 for 10 and throwing out base stealers this season.
I'm starting to think that that stat is almost going to be unfair to certain catchers because it's all now on the pitcher. You know.
Absolutely. There's a swing and a miss.
They're not going to run. They're not going to run on you if the pitcher is quick to the plate. Doesn't matter who you are. And if you slow to the plate, they're going to run all day. You got no chance.
Cobb was pretty quick too on this 2-strike delivery. Look at that movement.
That's what I'm saying. If you're in between and you get a good jump, and then that split comes in there, you can see the catcher going down to a knee. You might have to block it. If you can pick that, you're in good shape. You get a fastball, you're in trouble.
Here's Bader, room on the right side. They shift. And there's strike one. ERA coming into this game over 5, nearly 5.5 for Alex Cobb. First 3 starts. But then there is something that you can look at called expected ERA. And that is 1.46. So that takes into account defense behind you, weather, ballpark, all different kinds of things that you can look at with advanced metrics, and his ERA there is under 1.5. So the point being, he's probably pitched into a little tough luck.
It's like saying that Barry Bonds played in New York, he'd have 1,000 homers. The what ifs. You know, the one thing he does really well is guys, when he throws that split, guys are chasing it and they're not hitting it. And that's where his game really comes into play. He gets in trouble when he goes to that. His numbers are outstanding in that category.
The 1-1 pitch to Bader.
There you go right there. Now, if you see, the other thing is if you're a runner and you're a smart base runner and you look in, catcher's going to a knee super early. That usually is not a fastball. Well, you know what I mean? He's expecting, he's trying to get the ball down. Actually, I would say that usually would be a fastball, but he's been doing it on the off speed, trying to get low. See there? How you don't run.
Out to deep left field off the bat of Bader. It is gone. It's a home run. Harrison Bader on a 1-2 pitch takes Cobb deep, and with that, St. Louis grabs a lead here in the 5th, and it's 2-0 on Harrison Bader's second home run this season.
What we got here? Just a bad split right there. Interesting that he swung at every single breaking ball he's thrown. Fastballs all over the place, and he chose that to try to get him out with.
just over the wall. Give the fans credit for not reaching over too.
See what he did? He just let it short hop off the top of the wall.
And the umpires, this is an umpire review, taking a look at it, I'm sure, to see if the fan touched it. Didn't look like it to me.
Didn't want to get his fingers smashed.
Snaps an 0 for 6 for Bader. Gabe Kapler looking at the video board here at Oracle Park.
I'm not really seeing what the issue is right there. Did you? On the video board?
Well, I think they're just making sure that.
No, but I mean the fans.
No, I didn't. That's what I was saying before. And I can understand where the umpires are going to take a look at this. It looks like the fan is behind the wall. Let it go, and I think it stands.
Yeah, he's behind the fence.
After review, the call stands. It is a home run.
Good job right there.
Both the home runs hit by Bader have come with 2 strikes. We had the huge home run last weekend at Busch, and this is a big one midway through this game to make it 2-0 Cardinals. And now it is Paul DeJong. Struck out back in the 3rd. First pitch, a strike. One and one the count.
You see that take right there with that little hip thrust? Like he literally foot hits the ground and he wants to go and the hip moves. That's the thing he's got to stop. That's better. You know what I mean? Like even when you take pitches, it's like sometimes when you take a pitch, when it's almost like sticking and landing. You know, if you're doing a flip and you see these people in the tumbling and all that, it's the same kind of thing. When that foot hits the ground, it's got to stick and it can't drift. Your body can't drift with it. See a little bit better right there. It's weird because it's like he'll do it, he won't do it, then he'll do it, and then he'll get better, and then he'll better, and then the next time it's kind of right back to it a little bit. It's just like a bat to it bat.
2-2 the count on Paul DeJong. Outfield straight away and deep. And a strikeout of DeJong.
Split is nasty.
That's 8 strikeouts with 2 away here in the top of 5 for Cobb. And he was hot after that home run he allowed to Bader. Grabbed the rosin bag, he threw it down, he was yelling into his glove. He was not happy.
Well, I think that he made a bad pitch right there, pitch selection. I would think maybe if from just what I'm watching, Bader chasing all the breaking balls that he's thrown. He swung at the first one twice, and it wasn't a bad pitch. It was in off the plate, but just didn't get any movement out of it.
Top of the lineup, Tommy Edman struck out swinging and also grounded out to first. Shift on the right side for the Giants.
When things aren't going well, you always feel like you're playing catch up. Well, they truly are. They've been outscored now in the last 3 games, 19-3. As Edman rolls over it, and Stubby Clapp is there, the Cardinal first base coach.
Gobbled it up.
Sure did. Thought he had it. Evens it up at 2-2.
Bart tried to sell it, didn't he? Just kind of swiped at it.
Cobb walking off the mound.
The edges have been really, really tight. Not getting a lot on the edges, up or on the sides.
And a full count on
Tommy Edman. Just an incredible season last year for the Giants. Be tough to duplicate. 107 wins and winning the National League West. Most for a team in the National League since the '86 Mets, the year that they won the World Series. 3-2 pitch to Tommy Edman. Out in front of the plate and a fair ball, and Bart's throw is there to Wilmer Flores. On 1-2, Harrison Bader, his second home run. One swing, and he struck out a career high 5. Into the 5th we go, and it's 7, 8, and 9. Cardinals with a lead of 2-0. Luis Gonzalez at the plate. The BJC Healthcare difference maker. And Jimmy, you picked up on it right away.
After 2 innings, he
not throwing that slider very much.
After 2 innings, he only threw 2. And so now, the next 2 innings, he's thrown a few more, but a lot of sinkers, a lot of fastballs.
1 ball and 1 strike. That marine layer just hovering over the playing surface here at Oracle Park in San Francisco.
You can actually see it kind of blowing in now a little bit. Just a little extra wind starting to sneak in. Very interesting type of weather here, don't you think? It's just really bizarre at times. There's some marine layer on that camera.
The 2-1. And a base hit into right field. 3rd hit for the Giants tonight. Genesis Cabrera is throwing in the St. Louis bullpen. Leadoff base hit from Gonzalez, and now Jason Bossler, the 3rd baseman. He was up with runners at 1st and 3rd. Back in the 2nd inning and grounded back to Hicks, and Jordan was out of trouble. So 61 pitches for Hicks, 15 of which have been either at 100 or better. Cardinals with a shift on the right side. And a check on Gonzalez, who has 1 stolen base this year.
He's got a pretty good strike ratio right now. He's at 42 strikes to 62, 61, 62 pitches. It's not bad.
His last start, the most he has thrown in a game at 63 at the big league level.
I just think he's struggling a little bit with his mechanics. You see that ball is kind of more over the top. A little rushed maybe. Trying to guard against a stolen base.
Off the plate, 2 balls and no strikes.
So you can see his arm is a little bit. This is the one thing that Adam Wainwright was talking with me on the bus the other day. Is when your foot hits the ground, your arm has got to be up near that release point. You can see Jordan is a little bit quick with his body, and his arm's not catching up all the time. And so that ball, he'll leave that ball out there, right there, and then the fall off is the result of it. So that's just a mechanical issue.
Cardinals, the only non-National League West club to win 2 series against the Giants last year. They have won 12 of the past 17 against San Francisco. Trying to continue that trend tonight. The 3-0.
Wow,
is a ball, and Hicks kind of snaps back with the baseball. The strike zone is tight at times
I bet you he has called 5 or 6 pitches that are strikes balls tonight inside that zone. They've been close, but it is a little tight.
And the home plate umpire, Doug Eddings, hearing it from the St. Louis dugout. Roberto Ortiz at first, Junior Valentine at second, Bill Miller, the crew chief, he's down at third.
And Doug Eddings is a good umpire.
Very good. Here's Joey Bart, struck out looking first time up. So again, Bart now is struck out 24 times in his last 49 plate appearances. Giants 0 for 3 with runners in scoring position
Tonight, 1 for 9 in the series. Bart, a highly thought of prospect for the San Francisco Giants. And the 0-1 pitch. And time called. The 0-1. Slowly hit. And DeYoung goes to second. That'll be an out. The transition out of the glove to throw. And that will be an out. Runners at the corners now with one down. Hit so slow, tough to turn to. They're showing it on the video board, but no argument from the Giants.
It's clearly on the transfer. He's trying to be a little quick.
Ollie coming out, but we've seen him at times not go ahead and make the move. And in this case, it will be done. With the left-hander, Lamont Wade Jr. coming up.
Genesis Cabrera coming in. 2-0 our score.
Scattered just 4 hits over 6 innings. Monday's
1-0 win over the Royals. That was the homestand finale. Paul Goldschmidt had a solo home run in the first, and that's all that they would need. So Mets, Logan Webb tomorrow. And right now it's runners at first and third, 1 out. Inning number 5, bottom half. Chevy called to the pen. And it is Genesis Cabrera. Lamont Wade Jr., left-handed batter, pulled back. Austin Slater will be the pinch hitter. San Francisco had 16 pinch hit home runs last year. 16. One shy of the all-time record of 17 set by the Cardinals in 2016. So big spot here for Cabrera as Hicks gives the Cardinals 4 1/3, and he strikes out a career-high 5. But he's responsible for the runners at first and third. And the first pitch, strike 1. All Hicks can do is sit and watch. Slater, an 8th round selection back in 2014 by the Giants. And the 0-1. 0-2. Last 9 games, Slater's been one of the hotter hitters in their lineup. 9 for his last 22. The 0-2 pitch. Cabrera looks back the runner and makes the play. Those are always a little dicey.
I was going to say, especially with him throwing. What do you think every one of those infielders was thinking right there? Uh-oh. Who's he going to throw it to?
So out number 2, runner does advance, and it's second and third.
It's your goal to get that wide stance.
It's a good play. Spinning, throwing, and he makes the play. And now it's Yastrzemski, and they want to talk things over.
Looks like they're going to pull Yastrzemski back. He's rough.
This is what they did time and again last year. Just try and mix and match when any opportunity arises. And so Darren Ruff will pinch hit, and Yastrzemski will be out of the game.
That's what they did last night with the pitchers.
We saw 9 of them. When you think about some of the power hitters that do not have a home run this year, this is one of them. Randy Arozarena, 98 at bats. Marcus Semien is not homered. Austin Meadows, Trevor Story. Two outs and 2 on.
Shift on the left side. Ruff hits it right where Tommy Edman would be. Softly into right. 1 run is in. The throw by Dickerson not in time, and the game is tied at 2. Among the leaders are the Giants in 2-out RBI, and they pick up 2 more.
Oh, he just totally misses location right here, and Rupp just somehow finds the hole. The shortest swing ever right there, cuts it off, but look what happens. That's unfortunate right there.
So brand new game. We're tied at 2, and Wilmer Flores at the plate. Strike 1. San Francisco with 53 2-out RBI this season, 3rd most in all of baseball. The Young will flip to Edman at the bag. The 2-out single to right by Darren Rupp, and we're tied at 2. Fans fight cancer night at the ballpark. Purchase a special themed ticket, and you'll receive a Cardinals cancer awareness cap, and a portion of each ticket sold be donated back to cancer research at Siteman Cancer Center. For tickets, visit cardinals.com/theme. Well, some changes now for San Francisco. This will be the 2nd time we've seen John Brebbia pitch last night, and he'll have the 6th inning as Cobb goes 5 innings, 2 runs on 3 hits, struck out 8, walked 1, gave up the 2-run homer to Harrison Bader. So Brebbia in for Cobb. Slater and Rupp stay in the game. They're in the outfield. And the first pitch is strike. Luis Gonzalez going from left to right. Austin Slater is in center, and Darren Rupp is in left. The 0-1. And it's a ball and a strike.
How's that scorecard looking already? A little spring training-ish?
A little bit.
Gabe Kapler keeping you on your toes the last 2 nights, huh?
9 pitchers last night will do that.
About to empty the bench here already tonight.
So he's got now on his bench the backup catcher Kurt Casale and Mauricio Dubon.
That's the thing that for me would be the hardest part, is making those moves with running out of, position players. But thankfully the DH will allow you to not have to do too many more moves, but it still is kind of strange.
That's the difference. If you have the DH, you can do this.
You're managing like a National League game, though.
Yep. Right-handers just 4 for 27 this year against John Brebbia. The 2-2 pitch. He struck him out. Cardinals have struck out 9 times. Came in as a team with the fewest strikeouts in baseball.
Interesting, the tight strike zone, and then this is a strike today.
There's Nolan Arenado. Double down the third base line, and he's 1 for 2. And there's strike 1. The bullpen of the Giants has thrown 110 innings this year coming into play. 4th most in the majors, 2nd most on the senior circuit. Hit down the right field line, but foul.
It's so good right there.
So the Giants come in at 14-11, but they trail in the National League the Pirates, team that has been struggling. Reds are in that conversation as well. So you're talking about 2 teams, Jimmy, that aren't winning a lot of games. Normally your starters are giving you some length. You're not going to your bullpen as much, and you can save them.
That is not happening. Did we have a Reds watch tonight? Did we see if they had won another game yet?
They were delayed at last check. 2-2 the count.
I'm looking right now, and as of right this moment, they're still stuck on 3 after last night.
6 games in baseball postponed today. As Nolan goes down to get it, hits it out to center, and it is caught. As Slater went back to make that catch. The Marine layer coming in. That ball just died. While we have a moment, quick word from Great Southern Bank.
Choices are never a bad thing, especially when they all look so good. Go ahead, take your time, and find the account that's perfect for you at GreatSouthernBank.com.
I don't think Brebbia can hear pitch comm. He's been struggling to try to pick that up.
They're going to have to use their fingers.
Old school.
Really old school. It was like back in the 20s.
Cincinnati and Pittsburgh rained out. They'll make that up on the 7th of July. That Reds Pittsburgh July 7th game. Jimmy, I would advise you to get online right now and get those ducats. The 1-1.
Oof. Wow. Straight in the face.
Right off the mask of Joey Bart. It's got him square, it looked like.
Yeah,
Sure did.
You don't see the ball bounce forward like that very often. Not a fun spot to be.
Bader hit his home run on a count of 1 and 2, and that's the count now on O'Neill. The Cardinals with 3 hits tonight, 9 strikeouts, tied 2-2. The next by Brebbia. Swing and a miss. Pair of strikeouts, John Brebbia. And we are midway through 6 of game 2. Tied at 2. Not to be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. The accounts, descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. Jock Peterson looks at a breaking ball high, and ball 1 underway here in the home half of the 6th, and we're tied at 2. Peterson, Crawford, and Estrada coming up for the Giants. Shift on the right side.
This looks like a different guy in the orange, doesn't he? Looks like he's a little thicker, but it's just like he just looks like a different player.
I thought he got
bigger
last year with the Cubs. Not saying it's bad. He just
looks different. I think it's interesting.
And the 1-1. Good pitch. 1 and 2. So 3 breaking balls to start this at bat with Peterson, who is 1 for 1 with a double and a walk head to head against the Cardinals lefty.
Let's go now.
Here's a 1-2 pitch. 2-2. Cabrera to Jock Peterson. And a fly ball into the gap. Right center. Over is Bader. Good jump and makes the catch. Jock Peterson hitless tonight. Brings in Crawford.
Good job right there. Both of those guys kind of covering that gap. You got 2 guys that can really run. 3 guys that can really run. It's tough to sneak some hits in there. I'll tell you what, I've been impressed with the movement of Corey Dickerson out in the outfield. He's like one of those guys when you watch him play, you can tell he's playing defense, Where there's other guys that are just kind of hanging out there.
Shallow left, dumped in for a base hit for Crawford.
A wide turn around the bag at first and a 1-out single.
You know, there's guys that stand out there and they catch the ball and they throw it in, but you see Dickerson hustling everywhere he goes and is taking pride in playing defense. Nice to see.
Also a good arm too.
Yeah, he does.
Charges hard. Before.
Charges the ball hard. He got in that gap in a hurry. He's moved over a little bit to kind of shade that gap. Give Harrison a little help. He's paying attention to where Harrison's moving.
See those two constantly talking here tonight. Thairo Estrada. Cabrera loved the ball on the ground and turn 2. Fastball in there for a strike. Estrada tonight single to right and also grounded out to second. Here's the 0-1. A ball and a strike. Looking ahead to the 7th inning, the Cardinals have Yepez, Dickerson, and Kisner. Right-hander throwing in the bullpen for the Giants. Cody Whitley up and throwing for the Cardinals. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Good job by Kisner to keep that in front. Talk to Yachty, he'll tell you there's an art form to basically catching the ball with your chest protector and leaning out in front so that it deadens the ball and just it doesn't take one of those crazy hops.
What he tries to do is kind of get over the top of the ball so when it does bounce, it kind of bounces back towards the ground and not, you know, if you just slide over and square up, it's going to bounce off your chest like a wall and it could go anywhere, especially if you're not squared off. So what he tries to do is surround it but lean forward so when the ball bounces off the chest it kind of shoots back down towards the ground, and that's a lot of work. It's a lot of effort. And he does a nice job. I love it when you see him do it with just so much ease and he doesn't even worry about putting his hands out there. It's just kind of like, let it hit me and then I'm just going to go pick it up in a second.
2-2 popped out. Edman. And that's out number 2. But you have to want to do that.
Yeah.
And Yachty wants to do that.
Those guys do it in practice, which is not the most fun part of practice. But
yeah, for sure.
And there's an art to it because, you know, each pitch bounces in a different angle. You know, if you throw a fastball, it's going to skip. You throw a slider, it's going to break to the side of the slider. A curveball is going to break and bounce up. Changeup's going to skip down. There's a lot that goes into it.
So 2 outs, runner at first, Luis Gonzalez. Singled and scored back in the 5th and grounded into a fielder's choice.
My favorite thing about that is if you listen to a good catcher, the key to the whole thing is you're anticipating the off-speed bouncing every time. You know, you're
Absolutely.
not anticipating him throwing it perfect. You're anticipating it bounce. And that's why you see these guys move around so much. And you can actually tell what pitch is coming a lot of times by watching the catcher. That if a good catcher sets up late, there's no keys to read. But if you're watching the game on TV, it's pretty easy to tell sometimes. It's just like that. You see him bounce around and get a little bit lower. Here you're imagining the fastball's coming.
And they picked him off. Goldie's throw to second. Now a rundown. And the tag applied by Paul Goldschmidt to get Crawford. We head to the 7th. The Giants 2. The Cardinals 2.
In his first 2 big league starts, Juan Yepez has been impressive. He told me his confidence comes from the support of his teammates. Yepez says Albert Pujols talks to him every day and encourages him. Yepez said this: "I'm not sure what my relationship with Albert is, but I hope he's not annoyed with me. Yesterday I was asking him all these questions. I saw him looking at my video and I asked him a million more questions about what he saw." Danny, I'm pretty sure Albert isn't annoyed with Juan at all.
Jimmy, you know Albert quite well. He welcomes that, doesn't he?
Yes.
You know, he actually, Albert, and you guys know this, he looks at everybody's video and picks up things and helps with everyone, especially the young players.
Was that Jimmy the Cat or Jimmy the Jimmy? Both.
Well, it was meant for ball game, but I like that the Cat jumped in.
The Cat is like, right
He's
in
all
there.
over it. Here is Sean Jelly, spelled H-J-E-L-L-E. Pronounced Jelly. Chevy called to the pen. Just called up before the game. And it's his major league debut. As Yepes grounds it fair. Digging and then dug out by Flores.
Make it look so easy, don't they?
And you know it's not. So Jelly is 6'11", 241 pounds, out of Minnesota, and he is the tallest player in Major League history, tied for that with John Roush, big right-hander, number of years with Washington. He was 6'11".
I was thinking of Chris Young. Wasn't he 6'10"?
6'10". Randy Johnson, 6'10". So this right-hander had 5 starts with the River Cats, 2-1 and a 4.37 ERA. It's time for Corey Dickerson's first big league homer with the St. Louis Cardinals.
That would be nice. We could use a tie buster, especially in this inning. Sorry.
Honda home run inning. Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri if the Cardinals hit a home run.
You got me excited. I got locked in on watching the hitter.
Understood, Jimmy. Dickerson 1 for 2 with a base hit to center and a run scored. Jelly, a second-round pick in 2018 by the Giants. And a swing and a miss. Cardinals have struck out 11 times tonight. Third pitcher used. Cobb went 5, struck out 8, gave up the 2-run homer to Bader. Brebbia struck out 2 in his 1 inning of scoreless baseball in the 6th, and Jelly has gotten the first 2 here in the 7th. Two outs, nobody on. Here's Kisner, 0 for 2 tonight. Cardinals have 3 hits total.
I think that the top of the order coming up would probably be super excited to not have to face Cobb anymore. Maybe even Brebbia too. I always thought he was nasty. That slider can be devastating out of Brebbia's hand.
And that's taken for a ball. Jelly has the knuckle curve. That's one of the better pitches that he features. He was the Southeastern Conference Pitcher of the Year. He was at Kentucky back in 2017. And the 2-0 off the plate, 3-0. Bader on deck.
A little sink action.
Three and 1. Broke his bat. Slowly hit to short. Crawford up with it. Slings it over to first, and that stretch here in game number 2. We're all tied up. 2-2.
Jack Flaherty set to throw a bullpen tomorrow for the first time since he was shut down with a shoulder issue. John Mozeliak says Jack is cleared to go full tilt, although it might be a bit shorter than a standard bullpen. Mozeliak told me once you do that, you're sort of in spring training mode, working to get ready for games. Dan? A big step forward for Jack.
That is good news for the Cardinals as Dylan Carlson is into the ballgame and right. So Ollie also talked about that as well, Jimmy. He said the first bullpen tomorrow, but they're going to treat this even slower than spring training. They're not going to put a date on it as to when he would come back, but if and when he does come back, that's a huge addition for the club. There's Gonzalez.
He's basically your, could be your ace. I mean, you gotta love to see him back, healthy, pitching well. That's just another weapon.
Well, it's interesting. Ollie was talking about what takes a good bullpen, and he said you got to have a couple of guys that it seems like they're always available. You know they're not, but you can go to them a lot. Nick Wickren would be one. Here's another one on the mound, and he's already gotten 5 outs in Cabrera. He said some guys are just more available than others as Arenado is playing in and makes the play against Luis Gonzalez, who gets down the line. What a play here by Nolan Arenado.
It's like a little vacuum. Yeah, I was when he came in today, I was looking around at some paperwork, and it pitched in 4 days. That's unusual, wouldn't you think? Like if you just were to say, who's the guy that usually would think that has the least amount of days rest, and him and Giovanni come to mind.
Gallegos, they're trying to be pretty cautious with him. They've seen what's taken place last couple of years, especially in August and September, where the numbers aren't quite where they are early in the season. So last 10 days or so, he has not been used all that much. Pitch taken low, and it's a ball and a strike.
I also think too, playing so many games against the same teams, when you see the same guys all the time, I feel like it just gives you a disadvantage as a pitcher. Especially if you're only throwing fastball slider a lot. Guys know you're going to throw the slider. They try to lay off it. So now what happens? You're throwing more pitches and you're having more battles. And so, yeah, anytime you can prevent that, also, it's a win.
And he hit the ball.
Just a bit inside. Right back to Bull Durham again. See? It's hot this week.
3-1 the count. This will be Cabrera's last batter. I mean, you've got Joey Bart hits from the right side, and then they already pinch hit Slater and Ruff 1 and 2 in their lineup. They hit from the right side. Helsley is hot and standing on the mound in the bullpen. The 3-1 pitch. Now 3-2. Cabrera has matched his season high with his 2 innings tonight. 3-2 pitch. Lined and a base hit into right field.
Pretty good piece of hitting right there, especially after 98 kind of threw you. They go between, didn't go behind him, didn't go in front of him, kind of went through him.
And here comes Ollie. As we thought, he'll make the move here with Ryan Helsley ready to go. Pretty good work, though, out of Cabrera. 2-2. BJC Healthcare, the world's best medicine made better. And by Budweiser, this Bud's for you. Nightfall upon us on the West Coast, tied 2-2. We're in the bottom of the 7th with 1 out and a runner at first. Well, certainly you could make a case that Ryan Helsley is off to the best start of anybody in Major League Baseball coming out of the pen. This will be his 8th game. 8 1/3. And so far he has allowed 1 hit. He has struck out 16 in 8 1/3. And Jimmy, the amazing part of that, no walks. So when you got a guy throwing as hard as he is, and he was 100+ the other day, a lot of times you'll see those guys walk a batter or two. He's not only dominating, but he's doing it with control and has basically been unhittable.
Yeah, you said it too, and I thought the interesting thing about that too was he did it with a lot of days off in between. It wasn't like he was, you know, he was fresh. You would think he'd be a little erratic. He was throwing 102, 103. Slider was working, and he had a lot of days off, so he's figuring something out. Like you said, being healthy has a lot to do with it.
Helsley has thrown 3 of the top 5 hardest pitches this year in baseball. This is Joey Bart, and it's 0-2. Back on the 1st of this month, he hit 103.1, and that is the hardest pitch registered in the game in 2022.
You know, the night that he threw that, a young man at the University of Tennessee threw a fastball 105.5.
Oh, yeah.
The same night. Wow.
0-2. Goodbye. 3 pitches struck him out.
Not messing around.
So people ask, what's going on with him? Why is he having this success? I asked him earlier this year, I said, your secondary pitches is what I'm really impressed with, and that was just all gas. And he said his left knee, it's healthy. He had a little cleanup surgery on that, and it allows him then to finish his pitches, get on top of it, and pitch pain-free. He said, I probably was overcompensating for issues that I had with that knee, and now I don't worry about it, and I feel great.
Well, I would think the same thing with the control and the velocity, right? You have a solid base. He's got good, solid front foot landing. He can keep his shoulders square. Everything is all about your legs. I mean, we talk about all the troubles Albert had when he left here, and every time we turned on the TV, he's limping down to first and had those foot injuries, and it's tough to play that way, no matter what position you're playing.
And now the 0-1 to Slater.
Wow.
That's the first ball that he's thrown. The other thing, and Ollie and I were talking about this the other day, not only is he throwing hard and he's inside the strike zone, but Jimmy, everything is down, which is telling you it feels good to finish the pitches down. Everything down in the zone for the most part. Here's a 1-1 by Helsley to Austin Slater.
The strike zone is not normally like this.
So he's striking out 17 per 9.
Just 17?
Wow. The 2-1 pitch by Ryan Helsley. 3-1. So the Cardinals get Cabrera into the ball game in relief of Hicks, who went 4 1/3. Came in the 5th, did give up a base hit. The runs charged to Hicks, and now Helsley. And it's 3-2. It catches the top of the zone.
Well, that pitch right there. 3-1. Winning run on first.
I think that's his
2
first
outs.
slider that he's thrown.
7th inning. Pretty much you're a double away from giving up the lead, and he drops a 3-1 slider on him.
Runner off with the pitch on 3-2, and the next by Helsley.
Pitch.
Just got a piece. Slater pinch hit for Lamont Wade Jr. Lamont making his season debut tonight, went 0 for 2. And Slater came in with runners at first and third, and just 1 out against Cabrera, and Hennessy got him to ground back to him, but then it was Darren Ruff with the 2-out RBI base hit that scored 2 to right. 3-2 pitch by Helsley. And another 3-2 pitch. Ryan Helsley to Austin Slater. He struck him out. Call looking. Back-to-back Ks for Helsley. He cleans it up. And with that strikeout, he sends us to the 8th. He's homered tonight. It'll be Bader, DeYoung, and Edman due up. And Bader
on a 1-2 pitch back in the 5th. One of the only mistakes made by the starter tonight, Alex Cobb, as he struck out 8, but he gave up that home run to Bader.
Not even really a mistake, as you see. I think it was a bad choice in the pitch selection, but the pitch was clearly off the plate. Bader did a nice job staying with it.
And now it's Tyler Rogers.
Would you like to throw a split-fingered fastball 6 inches inside and go home and see that that had to be the homer for the day? That doesn't sit so well, I'm sure.
Pretty tough league. 12th appearance to lead San Francisco as Rogers is into the ball game. Saw him last night, one of the 9 that the Giants win with, and that'll be off the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Rogers was roughed up in that appearance, just a third of an inning, couple of hits.
Tyler O'Neill with the big base hit, wasn't it, with the 2 RBIs?
That's hit out to shallow left. Sliding for it. Late jump and makes the catch. Darren Ruff. While we have a moment, quick word from Tickets for Less.
Tickets for Less. For a better ticketing experience. Best seats, best prices, and no surprises at checkout.
DeYoung 0 for 2, couple of strikeouts. Rogers was essentially the setup man last year for the Giants. Very good in the 8th inning at a 1.24 ERA last year. 38 strikeouts in the 8th inning. I mean, I think you can understand why it's such a different look.
I was going to say, pretty good contrast for the 9th inning guy.
DeYoung is 1 for 2 against Rogers as a right-handed hitter. I'm assuming, Jimmy, you're saying, hey, up the middle or to right.
Got you.
Little flare out to right, and a sliding catch made by Gonzalez.
And he cannot buy a hit.
And there is 2 away. StubHub, proud to be the official partner of the Cardinals. Plans change. You can easily list your tickets with StubHub.
Even use the free seller toolkit. It'll help you manage the price of your tickets. Also see where you're going to sit. Download the StubHub app today. Here's Tommy Edman.
Hitless tonight. 0 for 3. You caught my attention last night where you said even for a lefty this could be a tough at bat. And I've always looked at these kind of guys as coming into a lefty. They'd see him pretty well.
It's just the release point, you know, and it's just it's hard. Like I said, it gives so many different people get different ideas about how do you focus down there, you know, because you're used to watching the glove, or a lot of people stare at the chest. And someone like was saying, look down by his feet, and it's just, you can't do that. You have to kind of follow the ball out of the glove and down the arm. And but it's weird to have to get your eyes down low really quick.
Taken high.
But the slider, slow slider at 75 that's just kind of flipped up there makes 84 look like it's 94, and so that's where it messes you up.
The 1-2 stays alive. Tommy is struck out, grounded out to first, and grounded one right in front of the plate. Joey Bart hopped on and made the play.
It's like 2 nights of little squibbers in front of the plate.
Yeah.
Couple recovered by the pitchers, couple by the catchers.
Cardinals, if they pick up a win, it would be their first 3-game winning streak of the season. The 1-2. Edman with a drive into deep right, at the wall, off off the top of the wall, and Tommy racing to second, and he's on his way to third. Standing up, and he almost broke the 2-2 tie off the top of the wall, which is 24 feet high, in honor of the great Willie Mays. And he needed about 26 just to slightly get over.
Yeah, that wind blows in too a little bit. You can, from where we're sitting, you can actually see the fog blowing in from right field, and that ball just couldn't stay in the air long enough.
So a stand-up triple with 2 outs here in the 8th for Tommy Edman.
Oh, just missed that.
And now it is Paul Goldschmidt.
We've seen a little squibber to right field right here. Just as
gonna
typical, stay inside it,
yep,
fight it off, find the grass.
2 outs, runner at third. Goldie against this right-hander is 2 for 2 head-to-head with a double and a walk. The Cardinals 0 for 2 tonight with runners in scoring position. The 0-1. Did not go. 1 ball and 1 strike. So the Giants, their struggles have continued tonight, but it was a big one. That one hit that brought in 2. And now the 1-1 pitch.
God, he has such good at bats against guys like this. It's like he waits so long. I mean, that ball is like almost hitting him in the hands before he releases it.
That's why when he lets the ball get deep like this, he'll just guide it into right field. Ahead in the count now, the 2-1. 3-1. Nolan Arenado on deck is Rogers.
You see him take a pitch like that too. He's looking at a particular area. He's thinking, I'm going to look in. So if he throws me a slider, if it's got to start at me, and then I can go ahead and let it go, thinking he's probably not going to get a fastball.
Rogers,
and he just sits.
Staring into Doug Eddings after that last pitch, and now a 3-1. Runners at the corners.
It's one heck of an at bat. He's not even flinching.
And it brings in Nolan Arenado. Goldie, his second walk tonight. And Joey Bart out to visit with Rogers. Crowd tonight, 28,898, 28,898. And Doug Eddings now coming out to break up the visit. Arenado has grounded back to the pitcher, doubled down the third base line, and lined out to center. He was really, really frustrated after the last plate appearance. And they've given the Giants all the time in the world to figure out what they want to do here. And a slow walk by Gabe Kapler. I'm assuming, and this is assumption, but you got 2 guys going out there.
Is that legal? I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Well, that's their.
He's the assistant.
Well,
he's the card guy.
He's the one that's setting up the defense and maybe explaining analytically why they're going to do what they're about to do. It's 2-2. Handed pitchers. So going out with Gabe Kapler was the translator, but he had not yet made the move to bring in Duvall. And technically, I think that he's supposed to wait until he's officially in the game, and then he made the move. And so now we have our Chevy call to the pen, and he'll face Nolan Arenado, who is 1 for 3 tonight. Very good slider from this right-hander.
Thought maybe Gabe took his executive assistant out there to hand out the cards.
Man.
Well, there's another one, Danny. See something new every night.
Well, this young man has got a big arm, and his slider, cutter, he throws it hard. Second hardest in the game.
The average is 97 and a half. Hit a half with the fastball.
We got good speed down there at third base too. Ball gets away and the Cardinals have a lead.
See how his location is. He hasn't pitched in a few days. Approximately 4. So we'll see.
Room on the right side of the infield. First pitch to Nolan Arenado. And there for a strike. Right-handers are 1 for 22 so far this year against Doval.
And the 0-1. Hit back to him. Swings at the first for the out. Cardinals strand a pair. Midway through 8. Good ball game, and we're tied 2-2. The Giants will have Ruff, Flores, and Peterson, 2, 3, and 4. Ruff with the big hit for San Francisco in this game. A 2-out single to right that brought in 2 and tied it up in the 5th. Helsley had 11 pitches in the 7th inning and struck out 2. In relief of Cabrera, came in with 1 out, 2 on in the 5th. Jordan Hicks went 4 1/3 and gave up 2 runs. And the 1-0 pitch to Darren Ruff.
Runs to 3-0. And there's a strike.
Tough spot right here. Both sides. Think about it. Pitcher's got to throw a strike. Hitter, do you take one again, or do you let it fly? You got to stay under control. It's a great spot to hit. You just cannot overdo it.
3-1 pitch.
And it's hit out of play, 3-2.
And that is not the swing you're looking for.
From 3-0 to a full count on Darren Ruff. Here it comes from Helsley. He struck him out on the inside corner. Triple digits. He's seen 3 and struck out all 3.
Great job by Kistner right there. He's just thinking outside the box, probably not looking inside, and he goes inside with the fastball and paints. Look at the glove stick. There's no way he's thinking inside right there.
We have never seen Ryan Helsley this good for this long. I mean, this is now a month into the season where he is just dominating. Wilmer Flores hitless tonight, 0 for 3. And a pitch up and in. Cardinals looking ahead to the 9th inning. We'll have O'Neill, Yepez, and Dickerson. The 1-0. 1 ball and 1 strike.
He has struck out 3 straight tonight. Going back to his last appearance, he has struck out 6 in a row.
still blown away by the strike to ball ratio. It's pretty good. 11 and 17, 11 strikes on 17 pitches. 7 out of 11 earlier.
On a hop to Tommy Edman. And that is out number 2. Well, we have a moment. Quick word from St. Louis Children's.
St. Louis Children's Hospital, the only place where Washington University physicians have gathered from across the globe, discovering and developing life-changing treatments for kids.
So Helsley has come in, struck out 3, got a ground ball out. That's 4 up and 4 down. So 9 2/3 for Ryan Helsley and 19 strikeouts with 1 hit allowed this season and no walks.
Here's Peterson, and he
Wow.
buckled his knees.
And how about the velocity? Down to 82 right there. It was more of like a little get me over. Kind of, I need to throw a strike. Wow, big breaking. That's almost like a curveball.
And the 0-1 pitch to Peterson, certainly a threat at the plate. Do it again.
I love it, though. I think that the creativeness of Kisner, after all these time watching Yachty, and then having a good relationship with some of these younger guys, coming up with them and, you know, catching bullpens and stuff, it's great. I think that these guys can really, you know, you don't lose a bunch when you're missing Yachty, and it's finally starting to really shine.
Would he do 3 straight or go with the fastball up? With the breaking ball again, missed outside, and it's a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes. Cardinals have yet to play in a extra inning affair. The Giants are 1-1 this year. We're in the 8th with 2 outs. Nobody on. And the 1-2 pitch to Jock Peterson.
Wow. That was way off that.
Peterson 0 for 3 tonight. It was 0 for 4 last night and hit into a double play.
He's going to throw it again. He's going to go with the old fastball, Danny.
I like that move. But I want it up.
Yeah, I
see
did
if he
right
chase.
there for sure. Except I don't want to go to 3-2. So I would like a strike there, sir, if I may.
By all means.
I don't want to give the hitter, I don't want to, as a hitter, I think 2-2, you're not really defensive, but you're not thinking offensively. And 3-2, I think it shifts your mindset a little bit, and you kind of get a little bit more, you know, a little bit more aggressive. Here, maybe not as much, even though.
Wow. That's what I wanted.
You asked for it.
I got 101 up.
Yep. If you got it, you might as well do it, huh?
4 strikeouts for Helsley out of the pen.
Runners at first and third in the 8th inning, and got Arenado to hit softly back to him. Ryan Helsley is developing into quite a story here in 2022 as he strikes out 4 of the 5 that he saw in impressive fashion. And we're tied 2-2 here in the 9th inning. O'Neill, Yepez, and we'll see for St. Louis, Dylan Carlson.
That might raise the strikeouts per 9 up a little bit. Is it possible to have 20 strikeouts per 9?
With no walks. That's the thing that has been amazing. You throw that hard and you're not walking anybody? Tyler O'Neill. And the first pitch is strike. O'Neill has struck out twice, also flied out to right field. Big gap in left center in the outfield. A check swing fouled back. O'Neill strikes out for the third time tonight, 0 for 4. Cardinals have struck out 12 times. O'Neill, by the way, had his arbitration case, his hearing today. We'll find more out about that, I'm sure, in the coming days and weeks.
How does that happen when you're not there?
I believe he was.
Zoom.
I think he may have been. Juan Yepez 0 for 3. And he pulls it fair. Down the third base line. Yepez on his way to second base and his third double in the big leagues.
Fired up.
The Cardinals will pinch run in this spot.
This is what it's like to be on time for the fastball right there. Good job being ready. Got the ball in, stayed on top of it. Be rewarded with a double.
So Brendan Donovan will come in and pinch run, representing the go-ahead run here in the ninth inning. Juan Yepez, 1 for 4 tonight, and the first plate appearance for Dylan Carlson. Shift on the right side. And that pitch taken high. Dylan did not start tonight. It was Corey Dickerson in right field. Dickerson went 1 for 3 with a base hit to center and a run scored. Just poke it through that left side. The 1-0. A ball and a strike on Carlson. Born in Elk Grove, California, where he graduated high school. California boy and back in Northern California here tonight. Here's a 1-1. 2 balls, 1 strike. Kisner on deck, left on the bench, Molina and Pujols.
The 2-1. Carlson, base hit. Here comes Donovan. The throw from center. He is safe. Dylan Carlson pumping his fist as he goes into second. And he puts the Cardinals on top 3-2 here in the ninth.
That was needed. It's a really nice job too. That first swing he took, he got a little bit long. This one a little shortened up. On time for the fastball, on his toes, and a line drive right back to left center. And nice job of base running by both guys. Dylan going to second base on the throw. That's as big as the hit. Keep it moving.
Boy, did he need that. And now it is Kisner.
Pretty good swing.
So a single advances on the throw, and now it's Kisner. And I'm sure it's gotten Carlson's attention. He hasn't started in 2 of the last 3 games. So Ollie saying, hey, you got to pick it up. That'll help.
Yes, it will. Well, he's getting a little bit on his heels at the plate too, and see that first swing. He kind of took that big swing and fell back a little bit and corrected himself and stayed on top of the ball, and a nice line drive.
Giovanni Gallegos throwing in the St. Louis bullpen. 26 pitches for Ryan Helsley. So it looks like he'd go to Gallegos. We'll see. That would be my assumption.
So, right?
Yep. 0-2 the count on Andrew Kisner. Hitless tonight. Carlson, your runner at second.
Good take. Wow.
Wonder if it's a take, Jimmy, or they get to that point, they're like, I can't do anything with this anyway.
The catcher barely caught it. You see the.
I mean, it was almost a strike.
Catcher got a trap.
This guy's going to break some thumbs. Whew. The 1-2 pitch.
And Kisner waves at it, strikes out. Second strikeout in the inning, and now it's Harrison Bader.
That's what that fastball down and in did for you right there. He's like, he said, I don't know if I can hit that, so I'm going to speed up a little bit, cheat a little bit, look inside a little bit, and all of that will create that swing right there.
Harrison Bader, 2-run homer on a 1-2 pitch back in the 5th. Is grounded out to third and fly to left. The Giants have Crawford, Estrada, and Gonzalez due up in the bottom of the 9th. Two outs. Carlson at second, and Bader takes a ball low. DeYoung on deck. With the way that Paulie's going, I wonder if Harrison is going to see much to hit late in the game, and a 1-run game in the 9th. Something to think about.
I think that you're right, but man, I would have a hard time putting him on.
Hit to short. Crawford makes a play. Yepez the double. Carlson the RBI single. 3-2 St. Louis.
The pitching side, as well as maybe a little offense. Ryan Helsley, an inning and 2/3. He saw 5 batters, got all 5, and struck out 4 of the 5 here tonight. In an inning and 2/3, he came in with 1 on, 1 out in the 7th inning. Our Budweiser plays of the game. Ryan Helsley, and then in the 9th, Yepez the double. Crawford will lead things off here, but Yepez able to score on the base hit by Dylan Carlson, and it's our Chevy called to the pen. Last appearance for Giovanni was on the 2nd against Kansas City, when an inning, struck out 2, faced 4 batters,
18 pitches, 13 of which were strikes. Crawford has been on base 3 times tonight. Walked in the 2nd, had the double that dropped between Bader and DeYoung, should have been caught, and then single to left in the 6th, and then eventually was picked off by Cabrera.
That double that dropped between Bader and DeYoung, it dropped behind Bader and DeYoung. Something you don't see very often.
The first run batted in for Dylan Carlson since April 27th, and it could prove to be a game winner. It was against the Mets. Gallegos with 5 saves this year. Crawford 0 for 3, head-to-head with a couple of strikeouts against Giovanni. He's talked about, Jimmy, we'll watch it here, about trying to throw and establish his fastball a little bit more. He's gone away from that. Wants to reestablish that.
I think just really go back to old school thinking, and if you're going to get beat the other way, establish that fastball out over the plate for strikes, down and away. I mean, Lee Smith, how many saves did he have? And he just threw everything down and out over the plate and on the black. And you know what? He passed that on to Troy Percival. Troy Percival threw 100 miles an hour, and he threw every pitch on the outer edge. No need to give up a cheap home run.
Popped out.
Like that could have been.
Who wants it? Bader taking charge. They clear out, and he makes the catch. Well, they cleared out in a hurry, didn't they?
Yeah, he wasn't going to let that one drop, was he?
No, sir.
Just in case there was any doubt in anyone's mind.
Boy, they cleared out in a hurry. Thairo Estrada singled to right in the second inning, grounded out to second, popped out to second. Pretty much straight up infield and outfield, the defensive alignment. And that pitch taken high.
This is the one thing about Gio is, you know, if you give him too much rest, he's known to be a little bit rusty.
But then if you use him too much,
usually it's a fine line. You know, it's amount of pitches, it's days in a row. He's only pitched once this week.
And the 1-0 pulled past Arenado. Estrada on his way to second and held there.
Great job.
Held at first base as O'Neill got it in quickly.
Great read, great job. That's the thing too, you know, the slider doesn't look sharp. Fastball's up, might be a little too fresh. Good hustle by Tyler right here. He's playing a little bit to pull. This is where that speed really helps for a guy like him in the outfield. Really get over to that line and cut that ball. You cut that ball off and you don't even have to throw it hard or throw it well. You just have to have the ball in your hands and you're stopping the runner.
Luis Gonzalez. Two of the 3 plate appearances, he's put it on the ground. Fielder's choice, single to right, and a hard hit ball to Arenado, who's playing in and even with the bag at third. Estrada, the runner at first base, with 1 down, and the first pitch swung on and missed, and strike 1.
96.
The 0-1 pitch. Ground ball. Edman backhand out there to first. Double play, and the Cardinals win it. 3-2 the final. What a ball game here in game 2 of this series as the Cardinals hold on for a 3-2 win.
Look at how fired up everybody is after that play. That was awesome. All the infielders at the same time, other than Goldie catching the ball, all pumped their fist for that win. That is a big win. It's a big hit in the 9th inning, and a great job, Gio, right there, and a great double play. It's a really, really nice win. They got to feel good about this one.
So Crawford flied out, Estrada the base hit, and Gonzalez 4-6-3, started by the Gold Glover Tommy Edman. What a job by Tommy. So solid at second base.
It's just a nice play. I mean, he just catches the ball. He makes sure he gives it to the second, to second base, to the shortstop, and then it's up to DeYoung from there, and then he does his job. It's perfect.
You know what's perfect? Brad Thompson.
Wow.
Late on a Friday night. He's coming up with a post-game show with Alexa. 3-2.